Racism is a behavior system that is organized because white people are a minority on the planet. They are a tiny minority of the world's people. The black, brown, red, and yellow people are the world majority. Not only that, white people are genetic recessive in terms of skin coloration. You see somebody like whose skin is white, if they have sexual relations with a black person, the product is colored. And there is the fear of white genetic annihilation. It existed in Europe, it existed in Germany, it exists here today. If we understand the white fear of genetic annihilation, which was why Willie Horton could be used as a very profound symbol by the Republican Party to win its election, then we will understand what is happening to the black male in this society. The black male is a threat to white genetic annihilation. And so he is profoundly attacked in this society. And if we begin to understand that, we understand what happens to the black family. If you remove the father, then the son is wandering around confused, doesn't know what to do, will get together in a gang, and ends up being depressed, getting on drugs, and going to prison. And in the United States, in Washington, D.C., I believe we have the second highest incarceration rate, second only to South Africa.
That
and so
is crazy.
In South Africa,
Wow.
you have black men in the work camps and the women on the Bantu stands, and here we have the black men in prison and the women in the projects, and the male children going unfathered. Now, I say that racism is responsible.
Now, one of the first lawmakers to make a public statement about the video was U.S. Senator Tim Scott, a Trump ally and the only black Republican in the U.S. Senate. He said, quote, praying it was fake because it's the most racist thing I've seen out of this White House. The opening video posted by the so-called president was done intentionally. This guy is an unhinged bottom feeder.
So now this is just getting a little bit too sad. So let me get this straight. Trump stated that he did not post a video about the Obamas as apes. So that means he'll probably be firing somebody if it is true that he gave the video to somebody to review and they posted the video without reviewing it. Even if that was the case, why was that at the end of the video? I believe Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt has to be exhausted because her continuously keep coming on trying to cover up what he is doing. As soon as she gets a breath of fresh air, there's something else. She never gets a break. I bet she probably doesn't even sleep. But this is the thing about her. She's going to have a extremely good career after him because of her experience of what she has been doing for him. I can guarantee she'll have people calling her to work for them because she is doing a really good job, with the exception of you can now see her exhaustion now. Her energy is just drained. I don't even think she believes him anymore, but she has to act like she does. He won't go down in history for someone who took our country to a better place, to build productive history and structures and everything. He's not going to go down in history with that. So I really would not want to be the one to tell my kids and my children's children, this is the person that I admired. What does that make you look like? And it's so sad that so many people still admire that. It really makes me think, what kind of people are they? If he's that person, what type of a person are they who admire him? But Barack and Michelle Obama, they could care less because they know who they are. So any little thing said about them, that's just brushed off. I mean, that doesn't even hurt me. I'm a black woman and that doesn't do nothing to me. You know why? Because I already know who he is. I already know who Trump is. Number one, and I already know who people who admire him are. So why would that hurt me if I didn't know myself and somebody called me a monkey or an ape or put a face of a monkey or ape in front of me, that's their issue. That's not mine, because I know who I am. You think that I look like a monkey or ape? You might want to look in the mirror and look at who you look like. Because if you're looking at me, you must look like something not good, whether it's inside of you or outside of you, honey. So it cannot hurt me. I'm not the one pooping on myself. And usually people that admire them, believe it or not, they're pooping on themselves too. Maybe not physically, but guarantee you they're pooping on themselves. People that are prejudiced have issues because they can't deal with who they are. They have issues. They can't deal with somebody different than what they are. They have issues. In reality, they don't understand it. It's a long line of prejudice down in their house. And that's just the tour that they decide to go down also. I'm going to let you hear what Obama says about it.
Imagine if I had done any of this. Let me just, I just want to be clear about this. Imagine if I had pulled Fox News' credentials from the White House press corps. You're laughing, but no, this is what's happening. Imagine if I'd said to law firms that were representing parties that were upset with policies my administration had initiated, that you will not be allowed into government buildings. We will punish you economically for dissenting from the Affordable Care Act or the Iran deal. We will ferret out students who protest against my policies. It's unimaginable that the same parties that are silent now would have tolerated behavior like that from me or a whole bunch of my predecessors. So, and I say this not on a partisan basis. This has to do with something more precious, which is, who are we as a country and what values do we stand for?
Coming up with new opioids faster than the government has been able to keep up. We're going proactive on these new chemicals.
Okay, by him. So the fact that you hear this without a microphone being close, right? So 3 seconds in, right? And look at the woman in green behind Trump.
Faster than the government has been able to keep up. We're going proactive on these new chemicals.
That's great. Now I hear fantastic things. Thank you all very much. We really appreciate it a lot. Thank you, Oz. It's doing a fantastic job. Thank you all very much. I appreciate it. Thank you, please. Thank you.
Mr. President, can you respond to the new Fox poll that says...
Look at her touching her nose. You see her holding her nose? Look.
Mr. President, can you respond to the new Fox poll that says people think ISIS's tactics are too aggressive?
Thank you, guys.
Cameras, we're going.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Trump's ex-co-worker on The Apprentice speaks out. Let's see what he has to say.
Witnessed him soiling himself in a rage, sitting there on the Apprentice set, Celebrity Apprentice set, because he can't read. Same thing, he flew into a rage over the word arbitrage one time, okay? Yeah. Soils himself, has to go off set, gets cleaned up by Keith Schiller. Keith's nickname was Wet One. And the Feinstein, and Dianne Feinstein, and they're sitting there in the Oval Office, and he clearly, has some kind of bowel movement. But you can, and you see them look like they hear it. But you can look up videos, your viewers can look it up, and you'll find photos of him with the outline of Depends. And I'll tell you why he wears that. Because speed addiction makes you incontinent, right? Opiates make you the opposite, make you constipated. Speed makes you go, right? So he eats fast food all day in meatloaf, like that's all he ever eats. Sorry for the graphics, and then he...
So today we're here in a bipartisan fashion to show leadership in an effort to end this senseless violence. It can be ended. So today we're here in a bipartisan fashion to show leadership in an effort to end this senseless violence. It can be ended. So today we're here in a bipartisan fashion.